This is the November 24th meeting of the Bylaw Review Committee of the Town Council, being presented via Zoom. The Town Council, the committee members present are myself, Pat Henry, Town Councilor Ralph Page, DPW Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent Tom Christensen. Who am I missing? Where's Bill? Bill. I can't see
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
I'm here.
School committee member Bill Fonseca and Jean Quadletti, clerk of the council. And we are started at 3:03. And the first topic of discussion would be the approval of minutes. Jeannie, you sent us several minutes. Does that mean that you found the approval for the prior meetings need to be redone?
I sent you several. I know I sent you the ones from the 19th just today, this afternoon.
And there
Right.
were two others attached to that.
There were two others.
Oh, was there? Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize for that. No, it was just the 19th.
That's
Okay,
why
we
I
are-
couldn't find it.
Yeah, and I thought I sent it yesterday, but this working from home, I'm still trying to get in sync with myself in both places. So if you want to wait till next week to review those, and because I know I sent them kind of late.
I think we should. I doubt that. I just got them myself half an hour ago, and I did review them, and I only really had a couple of small nits in there, but there was a lot. We discussed a lot. And,
Right.
and you
We'll
did
table
capture,
that.
and you did capture a lot. So let's table that.
Okay.
So Pat,
Yes,
do you
Ralph?
want any suggestions for changes sent first before we table it? And that way they can be made going forwards, or how do you want to do it?
I don't suppose it would be any harm to discuss it at this point, even though we won't be approving it. So why don't we do that, Ralph?
I mean, the only thing I saw is under the minutes, the approval of minutes for October 21st and November 4th. It says
Yep.
all were in favor via roll call vote, except I believe two of us abstained because we
Yeah.
weren't here at those meetings.
Okay, that was November 4th.
Yes.
November
And
4th and October 21st, I believe.
Okay. So there's 2 abstentions for each of those.
I'm
I
pretty
was at the
sure
21st.
I missed both of them, so.
Okay.
I only missed the 4th. I was here on the 21st.
Okay.
But I just figured this way, make that adjustment. That way there, when we go forwards, it'll be all set. And
Yeah, and I'll resend them.
Okay.
That's good because they were already approved, so definitely had to bring it up now.
Oh,
Anything anybody have on the minutes of November 19th?
well, that was on the minutes of November 19th.
Well, okay, technically, yes.
Yeah.
4th. Yeah.
Like, then we're just going to go over the rest of those the next meeting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot there.
Yep.
Especially the Board of Assessors and School Department. I wanted you to look at those closer, make sure I got that right.
Okay.
They look fine to me. The one thing that I would suggest changing is under 175 Board of Public Works,
Yep.
because you have the first 2 sentences separated. It makes it confusing to me. I think if they were added together,
Oh, okay.
then we'd understand it was just one motion, one suggestion, and then a roll call vote as part of it.
Okay, so I'll put that as one paragraph.
Yeah.
You do?
So that's really all I found immediately. But
Okay.
I want to take a longer look.
Okay.
I would now like to open up the meeting to, before we continue on A15 or whatever, A16, whatever the page is, I want to open up the meeting to any of the members that want to suggest what would be the next steps after this. What still remains to be done in the A1 through 40 or any other document? Yes, Tom.
I think we only got through a couple of pages of the zoning, right? The whatever Ralph's, we had started Ralph's section one of the days that,
That is true.
was that the 30, it was like 831 through, I think we only got through a couple pages, right?
Yes.
So that's outstanding. And I know you said you guys finished bills. Is that accurate?
As far as I can tell by my notes, yes.
Okay, because the meeting that was just me and Pat, I thought he had said that you finished, but, or no, excuse me. I asked the question, and Pat, you said that you didn't have, there wasn't enough time. That was the meeting I left at like 3:45, and Bill had to go at 4. So I thought you said that you weren't done, but then then the next meeting, Bill said you guys did finish. I just wanted to double check.
I am really not certain, and I haven't gone through those notes, my notes too, but hearing Bill say it, it's probably, we're either there or very close to it.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. There was,
I will look again. Thanks
Okay.
for bringing it up.
yep. And
And
then,
Ralph, yep,
sorry,
go ahead.
did we say something last meeting about the enterprise funds? Were those supposed to be added after the fact, or?
Oh,
Yes. That was a bylaw that was voted on after E-code had already been started. And I believe that got sent to general code.
It
Actually-
did.
I think, Jeannie, that was before you. Didn't Tom send it?
I sent it.
Okay.
Was that all the enterprise fund? Because I thought that we decided that there was only one sentence under enterprise funds, and we had done write-ups on all 4 or 5 of them. But did we decide?
that's what I remember.
I didn't know if that language was going to get added in or supposed to get added in, or are we okay with whatever what was the statement? It was just basically run by Mass General Law?
Jeannie, you said you sent it in?
Yeah, I'm looking if I can see when I did that.
Tom, where did you find that in the long document? The,
I'm trying to find, it's in the finance section.
that's right, you said that.
Page 74. Article 5 is enterprise funds. It says section 9719 statutory authority. All enterprise funds will be maintained pursuant to MGL chapter 44 subsection 53F and a half.
And that's it.
And then it goes to collector treasurer. Unless I've missed it somewhere else. I just figured if it would be listed under the enterprise funds if they use the verbiage that we had submitted.
There's a section that is supposed to list in a table type format all the enterprise funds. Tom O'Connor would know specifically because it says what they're allowed to be used for, whether they can be used for attorney fees, whether they can be used for, and there's an actual table. I don't have it off at the top of my head here, but I can look it up and I can find the exact location on all.
Ralph, are you sure that's not the revolving funds? Because I'm looking, the revolving funds are right.
I bet you you're right. I bet you those are the
Yeah.
revolving funds, not the enterprise.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I saw that Tom Florence did send the Stormwater Enterprise Fund back in May of 2019. I must have sent her something else.
And did we find the Stormwater Enterprise Fund in here anywhere? I don't remember it.
And then she responds, we'll incorporate these into the manuscript of the code. So that was back in May of 2019.
So they should be in this manuscript.
And then I emailed Claudia July of this year saying, I can't find it. Tom sent it to you. Is it in there? Now I gotta see if she responded to me. That was. So I can continue looking or I can report back to you at the next meeting
Why
and
don't
find that.
Yeah, why don't you report back to us, because none of us has stumbled on that. We haven't
Yeah.
even stumbled on the stormwater fund, which we all know was added way back.
Yeah.
At the start of this.
All I got for now.
Thank you, Tom. I'll ask Ralph. Ralph, your section, did we get started on zoning and do some of it? And then-
So I'm not sure in my absence, what you guys started on, what you didn't. I know why I was here, we hadn't started on any of it. But I
Okay.
will tell you, I've only found 2 items within my entire chapter that need adjusting.
Wow.
So that's a good thing, I think.
So you
Not
have
that
been,
you guys won't find more, but that's okay.
imagine that, Tom. It took us, what, a whole hour to go through 2 pages?
Sure did.
Took me almost 2 weeks, so.
Yeah. We were just putting eyes on everything, Pat, being very, very thorough.
We were.
There you go.
All right, so enterprise funds is still open. 80% of zoning is still open. Question about Bill's section, did we actually finish completely? Bill thinks yes. Jeannie,
And if,
Yes?
once we can say we finish with these pieces, what would you like to see us do as a
I was
final?
Yeah, I was
Pardon?
thinking about that this morning. The draft questions speak for themselves. That was like a workbook type
Yeah.
thing they gave us. I'm wondering if I should take like a Word document of the list of changes, the bylaw changes, and then insert any changes that we want to after that into the document. Almost like a strikeout like you do with the bylaws, but not exactly the same way.
Which document are you talking about updating?
The list of changes, what they call it 2 different things. They call
The
it the list of changes.
A1 through 40?
Yeah, they call that, Schedule A bylaws.
Yeah, you already have so many strikeouts and well, not strikeouts, but bolds and other things in there.
Yeah,
Would that work for you, do you think?
I think so. I can fool around with it. And we talked last week about where those changes are that we've discussed, and they're in the minutes. So I can go
Yes.
through the minutes and then try to start incorporating any of our approved changes into that document. And see what that looks like. What do you think?
Well, I think that might work, but I think it's incomplete because we did find a number of problems with formatting
Right.
and headings and titles and things like that, and like, well, like this enterprise fund, which is not even in the document at all. So there would have to be definitely have to be another document.
So maybe an addendum to that with changes that we've made that can't be shown by an edited list, just Schedule A.
Yes, either that or a fresh document containing only the changes that we want them to make.
Okay.
that might be less confusing.
Yeah,
Well,
and then,
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, but again, remember who we're dealing with, if they're familiar with A1 through 40, maybe Jeannie can make that work better.
maybe I can call Claudia and see
Yeah.
what she thinks too.
Yeah, that might be the best way to go because I don't want to see Jeannie have to do things twice.
But on the other hand, I lean towards having a fresh document that they can't come back and say, oh, you didn't tell us.
Right.
Because it got bollocksed up and muddled in the verbiage, the excess verbiage in A1 through 40.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wrestling with.
Well, logistically, I'm trying to think through how I'm going to do it, and I'll probably go through those minutes and just take out from the minutes and put in a document for myself what the approved changes were.
Because many of the pages, there's no changes, so.
Right. Yep.
So let's not make a decision, just, I wanted to raise that because I have a concern over that. And from our committee standpoint, certainly from the town standpoint, it would be cleaner not to have another questionable document, but to have any changes that are unhappy with, either from A1 through 40 or from the PDF document itself, captured fairly in one place.
And some of them are things that they overlooked that we sent them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And they don't really fit there unless, well, I suppose you could always fit them in chronologically, because this whole A1 through 40 is chronologically based on the section numbers.
okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
think about it.
All right.
Think about it.
I have. It's been in the back of my mind.
Is
I'll put it
there,
in the front of my mind now.
now there's another thing we could do, and that is to check from the Google Doc and see if what was supposed to be captured in the Google Doc was captured. I think by and large, we're doing that when we go through the questions. But that's something I would throw out as a possibility. One thing that I will do is go through the 350-page hard copy and try to find each question and where it's, the fact that it has been located in A1 through 40 and has been taken care of, checked off. And I started to do that already. So I will do that for the team, making sure that there's no question that somehow didn't get into the A1 through 40 document or otherwise looked at by this committee. So those are the two things I can think of, the Google Doc and the hard copy. I hesitate to try to go from the A1 through 40 to the 600-page PDF as though we weren't sure that something that was in the A1 through 40 didn't get in the PDF, but that would be another potential hole. What if they say in the A1 through 40, yeah, we made the change, we put it in here, and then you go to the PDF document, it's not there.
At some point, we have to stop making cross references, I think, because it could go on forever. I think Ralph had mentioned that too at one point.
I would like
That
to think,
Google Docs is an undertaking to go through.
I would like to think that they did make in the PDF document all the changes they made in A1 through 40. I would like to
Right.
think, but
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
just
and I would
throwing-
hope after this is published that if we do find something that's minor, that's their mistake, that they would just go in and fix it. Right?
That would be the logical thing to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it's going to work.
Yeah.
They're not going to give us 5 hard copies.
No, I mean minor,
Yeah.
minor. Yeah.
That's the one thing they were very big on. You want more than 5 hard copies of this thing, we're going to charge you.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of trees involved in this thing.
Yeah.
And then if you do insert something new that shifts all the formatting, I mean,
That's right.
it's not just
Yep.
changing a few pages.
No.
So,
All right. Well, I've thrown a few things out. You guys can think about it. And Jeannie, especially consider how you want to make the presentation. And we'll move, if everybody's okay, we'll move on to finish the document or get as far as we can on the document that I was working on for Tom. Everybody good?
Yep.
All right. We left, see if I can get it right.
Did we want to talk about the swimming pools first or no?
Oh, yeah, I saw that at the bottom of the minutes, that we would determine what a swimming pool was.
That's gonna come up under the zoning
So leave
Okay.
it, we'll table it till then?
or to the end of this meeting. And I just sent, Tom, I don't think you had it, and Bill, you didn't have it. I just sent the definition to you via email.
Okay,
Sorry about that. I was just thinking about that while Pat was talking. I'm like, I never sent it.
Well, then why don't we address that along with zoning so we don't have another thing to try to keep tabs of? I think we finished with the Board of Public Works, right?
Yes, A15, Board of Public Works. We should be on A16, Chapter 185, Community Preservation Committee.
Okay, I did have one thing that I noticed though about Public Works, even though we've already moved on. It does say in page A15, 175-3, and this was written by Bruce, I assume. It says the duties, the fee schedule is held at the annual rate settings hearing held in the spring. Is that always going to be true? Do we know, Tom?
Well, they all got to get approved by town council, so.
Why do we have that in the spring there?
I wonder if that's something that was,
It's through the budget, which is, I guess, is usually in the spring, right?
Okay,
well, I wonder if it goes back to town meeting, because the town meetings used to be in the spring.
So Pat, I'm
Normally-
trying to find out where you are. I'm in the schedule on A15, subsection 175-3 duties.
yep, third line. And all I'm saying is normally when I see something that
Okay,
says
got it.
in the
Thank
spring, I would say,
What page are you on?
who needs that?
A15. At the very bottom, duties.
So I don't think Bruce wrote this. I think this came out of the original bylaw.
So,
And
does
It's
anyone,
always been in the spring ever since I can ever remember because of one,
All
the
right.
annual town meeting, and two,
Yes.
because of our budget cycle.
then let's leave it there. And move, as someone said, to A16, community preservation. Got my stuff together here, community preservation. Ralph, I believe you wrote all this.
Did,
The old bylaw 10.080 simply says, there is one. That's all it says.
so this came out of the state. The state regulates the size of the board, the term, where each person comes from. That's where all of this information came from. So it mandates under state law that you have to have someone from conservation, historical, the housing authority, the planning board, public works. It says how they're appointed for 3-year terms. Basically everything that's listed in here came right off of that.
Great, because I was wondering where we got that. Also, there's a little bit of a question between A and B. A says there'll be 9 members. And then B says, in addition to these 6 members, the town manager shall appoint 3 at large.
So what it ends up being, Pat, is,
I can see what it is, but
yeah, I mean, the town manager gets to appoint 3 at large. The other
Yeah.
ones have to come from these bodies, and it's the body itself that designates the person. The board does.
So here's a committee that doesn't say they have to be residents. right? We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Well, there was nothing in the old bylaw, so we can't be accused of changing anything.
Nope.
So everybody's fine with the, why change the grammar just because it's a little squirrely to say in addition to these 6 members? Or could we just strike out the B in addition to these 6 members and just leave B, the town manager shall appoint 3 at-large members?
3 additional at-large members.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have a problem with that.
No, I'm good.
So,
And I think that's just a grammar fix, so
yeah.
I don't think we need to vote on it. And like I say, it's okay, it's just a little confusing.
So how do you want it to read now?
B, the town manager shall appoint 3 additional at-large members.
So just add the word additional?
I'll take out the in addition to these 6 members. So B, the town manager shall appoint 3 additional at-large members.
That makes more sense. I can guarantee you I'm not an English major.
Well, it's not wrong.
I will tell you, Pat, it reads a lot better like this.
Thank you, Ralph. Okay, so, and other than that, I think it was fine. Everybody good?
Yep.
There certainly is a lot more description in here than there is in a lot of the others.
Yep.
So then we can move on to page A17.
before we do that, because that's chapter 195.
Yeah,
In the large, the 480-page document, Conservation Commission is in between there, chapter 190.
I got it.
Did we submit? I felt like we submitted quite a lengthy document instead of the 1 word or the 1 sentence one that they have published.
We did.
We did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Is it in the draft
No,
paginated version? It's not?
nope. It just has section 190-1, membership terms appointment. The membership of the Concom consists of 7 members serving 3-year terms by appointment of the town manager. That's it. And I know Ralph worked pretty hard on that. That must have been a 15-page document, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing was huge, and that came through, actually, even the one
Jeff
in
Bosworth.
yeah, the one that was in our bylaw was really long, and we've adjusted it because there was a lot of repeat stuff and all in it.
Right.
I can resend you the document, Jeannie, if you want.
I thought I saw it on her submittal.
The conservation thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Jeff Bosworth had sent that to us originally.
Originally,
thought he
Jeff
did
sent
too.
it. Yeah, Jeff sent it to me. I adjusted it and then sent it along because there was a lot of repeat and stuff like that on it. Here.
Yeah, Jeannie, you sent it.
Thought I did. So that's missing.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole
Yeah.
thing.
I'm looking at the PDF document now, trying to find it.
It's on page 117, Pat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my notes said that Ralph's Word doc completely missing. And it's the old bylaw 10.010 through 10.080, except as amended by Ralph and rewritten. So that's pretty bad.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Well, you would think so, Ralph.
I mean, that's got 16 subsections in it.
Yeah, you think?
Oh, they got the
It's
first
taken
one.
me hours to write.
They got the first one.
Ralph, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
How could they not?
They thought you were just parroting state law and
Literary masterpiece.
seriously. All right,
Sorry, carry on.
Jeannie, you found it, right?
I did not find it. Where are you finding it?
Multiple member bodies in your submittal.
Yeah, that's where I was looking.
It's the old number is chapter 130, I want to say.
Oh,
Yes, it is. It's chapter 130. (130-1) through 130-16.
Yeah, whoops.
okay.
Jeannie, that actually does raise the issue as to whether someone should be looking at your submittal document
Mhm.
and verifying it against the 400-page, the 600-page PDF, because
Right.
when we have found a number of items that you did send them that did not make it. I mean, this is like the third or fourth, I think.
Right. And I don't think I got an answer on that stormwater. I'll have to look for that further, but I don't think I got an answer on that.
It's hard to understand how, except I know that, all right, I suspect you sent it in different, a series of submittals, right? Or
Well,
was it-
we
I
had the
mean-
final workbook with all the attachments.
So it may be that the final workbook they got, but some of the attachments they failed to pick up. I mean, I
See,
really
I'm still not finding that in multiple member bodies though.
In your submittal?
Yeah.
It's
Is it on an attachment?
attachment B.
Tom, you're good.
I know, on his little tiny phone.
Well, I'm
Right?
using everything else. That's all I got.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. Yep. Yeah, it's there. Okay, attachment B. Thank you.
You have a little tiny phone, Tom?
It's normal.
It's probably a big phone, but it's a little tiny screen.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing
got
he
it.
knows where to go to find everything, so.
I know it, yeah.
After the second meeting, I saved it in my outbox so I could just pull it up right away.
Oh, okay. I just I do a search and type in her name and everything pops up. Then I just got to find it.
Yeah, email one of 10,000.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No
Well, how many
kidding.
people we've got referencing? Like I've got 4 things on one screen, a Zoom screen, and these 2 big books. It's right.
I need another computer. I've only got 3 going right now.
Alrighty. Good
Charter's
find.
so much easier.
All right.
I get it mixed up after a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tom and I had a conversation about that last week.
Mhm.
So
All right. So now are we ready now for,
we're ready for Council on Aging on page A17.
yes. Okay.
So
That's chapter 195.
Jeannie, I'm just curious, once we
Yep.
send in all of this stuff,
Yeah.
do they put it all together and do we get to see it before they do a final print and the hard book and stuff?
I hope so, because I would hope that that's what we'd be presenting to town council.
I think that's what we asked for, if I remember right at the beginning of this.
I agree with, I recall that conversation as well, Ralph, and I think that's,
Yeah.
we wanted to
Because I'm
see it before.
concerned, Tom's great and all, but there's a chance we could still miss something.
There
that
is
they
a
missed.
chance.
No, I think this is the final draft, and after we get back to them, then they give us a draft for approval by town council. For us to recommend to town council.
But we're gonna have to look through that draft again.
Sadly,
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah.
well, no, we could leave it up to Jeannie.
No,
Like I
Well,
said,
we
I don't
can-
think we have a choice.
This could be never ending.
It's her book.
Well, that's the other problem. It can be never ending.
Yep.
You know?
And that's not good to say, because we need to have faith in general code, so.
Correct.
But,
Somebody else is
Not
gonna look at
helping
this
us
and
here.
pick it up. Somebody else will look at it and say, well, they missed this, they missed that, because
Right.
a fresh set of eyes is gonna see something different than what we are.
well, that's what I'm hoping. If it is something minor, we could just go back to them. You know, with hard backups saying that this was missed. This, you know, we sent and it was missed, and they could just fix it.
No,
I'm gonna
Without-
throw this out. I'll throw this out here and you guys can bat it around or tell me I'm way out of line. Would it help to invite Claudia to one of these meetings and see if she would join us so she can answer some of these questions right up front,
Maybe when we're all done.
you know? So that we're not constantly batting it around. And we can show her specific examples.
What we
I don't
could do
know.
is when I get all the changes together, we can talk about that and have her attend one meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she could say. I mean,
Well, she'd have to go back and research it herself.
if she was here, you know, we'd just be ganging up on her and she'd be like, well, I have to look
Oh,
at
Well,
we
not-
don't gang
that's-
up on people.
No, that's not the intent, but we could be going around in circles with this for another year and a half.
Well,
No,
no, I think we're nailing stuff down.
I know, but how much are we missing to everybody else's point?
I doubt we're missing much. I doubt that any town goes through these documents like we are. I think we're
I
doing a
agree.
great job.
I agree with that.
But even Ralph's confidence in general code is diminished somewhat.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, when you miss a chapter that big, it
Yeah.
wasn't like it was a one line item. I mean, that chapter's huge. That's multiple pages and.
Well, I wonder, you know, it was all submitted. Did they actually get it? I mean, who knows? You know?
Well, again, we had this question yesterday. What was published for Board of Public Works is not what we submitted,
Right.
right? So,
Someone's sitting there going, no, I don't like that. We're just gonna.
Yeah.
well, the fact is, the margin of error is perhaps they just fixed it based on the workbook and didn't really look at, like Pat said, the attachments.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we've confirmed that some attachments were incorporated in the final draft, I thought.
Some, yes.
Well,
But
yes, a lot-
That's why I wonder if
That's what I'm
something
saying.
just got dropped off and they didn't get it. I don't,
So was that
Submissive-
attachment, Ralph, for the conservation, was that taken from the state also?
Yeah, Jeff Boz, well, a lot of it came out of our existing bylaw that we had.
I'm just wondering if there's a reason why they chose not to do that as we submitted. But if they did that, I wish they would have let us know why.
that wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
because it was in the old bylaw.
right.
Exactly.
And now it's just a one sentence?
Yeah, Page by page, paragraph by paragraph, section by section, it was listed. I mean, I know he made many changes in it, but it was all there. No,
Unless they just felt it wasn't necessary.
yeah, they
I mean,
can't.
we sent them an entire attachment. All they basically had to do is copy that, slide it in place, and
So
Right.
I guess what I'm saying to my previous point, chapter 195, Council on Aging, what is here in the paginated version answers question 135-001. It does not say what Ralph submitted under his multiple member body submittal. So that's what I'm just wondering if they had their choice of picking the workbook and the attachments and they went with the workbook. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of the questions were answered in the workbook or the Google Doc or both, but then we submitted, we kind of changed formats so they all lined up, and they didn't do that.
Oh,
So-
that would be very scary. 'Cause
Well,
we had-
Well, that's
Like I'm saying, Board of Public Works was like that. They totally missed conservation, and now Council on Aging is like that. So, I mean,
well, I think that's a question that has to be asked. What exactly did they do with them?
well, so chapter 200 Cultural Council is exactly how Ralph submitted it. So there must have been no question about Historical Council in the workbook. You see they just had so
Yeah.
much information that they picked and choose what information to incorporate. Right?
I know there was a question on Historical Commission in the workbook. I forget which one it is, but hold on.
Yes, there is.
Question 145-001.
Yep.
Right.
And we said do not revise.
Yep.
So
Yes, we did.
So therefore, they took what we submitted them and plugged it in. But if there's a question that contradicts that, they're going with the workbook, or at least they're showing that they are.
Ah. I see your point. So they could have, anytime we said do not revise, they could have ignored any attachment. that was sent.
Well, if there was a revision that we specifically stated in the workbook, they went that route.
Understand, but if we said do not revise,
They just took what we submitted and plugged it right in word for word.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Jeannie, you understand what he's saying?
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the paginated version, the online version, the questions, and the attachments all at once.
So, sorry. Now I'm looking at the question for conservation and it said, see attached Word doc. But they neglected to put that in. So no wonder Mr. O'Connor bailed on this section. That's just smart. Wow. So, wow.
One more reason why we might want to look at comparing the document Jeannie sent and all the attachments that she sent, the most recent document that she sent to them, to make sure that all those changes and attachments and exhibits can be found in the 600-page PDF. Right?
Okay. I'll get going on that tonight, Pat.
Well, that's only fair since you brought it up.
Your kids can help you.
We were doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were doing great till you came up with that.
we'll get the highlighters out. Yeah, we'll have a good time.
What's this we stuff?
Oh, me and the kids.
Him and the
Oh,
kids.
okay. Okay. I'm sure you train them well with magic markers.
You're on the school committee, Bill. You can get all the kids you need. So we'll send it over
Not
to you.
anymore. We're in a pandemic.
Well, shall we keep moving with what we do have?
Yep.
So are we on Council on Aging still?
Yeah,
Sure.
we haven't really discussed Council on Aging yet. I have a note that page 65 in the hard copy documents, question 135-001 has been added, as we suggested, as 195-2B.
Correct.
Identifying the needs of the communities, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. I also noted that the paragraph A, the Council on Aging Board shall be an advisory and recommending body. I couldn't find that anywhere in the old bylaw, so I assumed that,
That was in Ralph's, so that was in Ralph's thing. So this one, actually, they did both. So this one might actually be correct.
it looked good to me, but, you know, I'm always looking for the provenance, where it came from.
Right. So 195.1 and 195.2A were in Ralph's write-up. And
Yep.
then they added B per the workbook.
For the workbook. Yes,
So this one's okay.
That one's all right.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 200, Cultural Council. I couldn't find any question on the Cultural Council.
Either.
So I'm assuming that Ralph wrote this.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, we had to go through, I had to do research to find out about this because I didn't even know if it still existed. And we did get the answers on it, and that's why it's written up like this.
So I did have two questions for you, Ralph. The first one is I noticed that the town manager doesn't seem to have any veto authority or other authority over the expenditures. So I'm suspecting that the council has its own direct access to Cultural Council, to state, Mass Cultural Council money?
Yeah, money's awarded by the state.
Date.
And I forget the formula. I'm on the Munson Cultural Council, so you get a pool of money from the state.
Oh, so, and your town manager in Munson has no control over that money?
No,
Are there guidelines that
the
say how
committee,
you,
what's that, Bill?
are there guidelines that stipulate how you can award the grants or spend the money?
Yes, there's applications and specific criteria. Then the committees reviews the applications and decides how to dole the money out.
Yeah, Bill.
So the
it's
state sets the guidelines, right?
It's state money. It's state money. You think they don't have guidelines? What a question.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
So it's okay, Ralph, because we can assume the town manager doesn't have any veto power over what they do. And they own their money. They control their money.
Yep.
Right? Okay. Pays to ask. Everybody good with that then?
Yep.
Yep.
That was a lot of work, Ralph.
Yes, it is.
225, section 225, Hysterical Commission. And that was question 145-001 on page 67. And it said, do not revise.
Yep. And it reads how it was submitted.
Good. And the reference is okay. I checked that somewhere. Yeah. I don't have anything else on that one. Everybody good?
Yep.
All right, we move on. to A18. Housing Authority. (230-1) is from the old bylaws. 230-2 is new material. Ralph, is that something you recall coming up with?
Actually, I believe that came right from Lynn Papalardo at the Housing Authority.
I mean, it reads fine, but just like I couldn't find where it came from, so.
That's why you know it doesn't come from me. Yeah, we asked Lynn to give us a synopsis of what their purpose was, and that's the wording that she gave us.
Good. Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Local Emergency Planning Committee, Chapter 246.
$45.
245, yep. 245. All new material.
Yeah.
Anybody recall where this comes from? Is this from Paul? Who runs it, Paul?
Yes.
This is how it was submitted.
This was how it was submitted by the chief.
Well, this is what we submitted to general code. I think Ralph did most of the multiple member bodies. I assume he talked to, I think this was one of the ones that we were going through the list of committees and we wanted to make sure we didn't miss any.
Right.
Yep.
And this was one of the ones that came up. So I'm sure Ralph checked with chief and.
So local emergency planning. I don't remember if this was in our original bylaw or not. And if it was probably just one line. But I think this is the one, if I remember right, that they have a huge amount of members
Yes.
Yep.
because they have them from Carta Monday. They have them from, I think it's AMR and a few other places. I want to say they had like 19 members or something.
Yeah, it is a big committee.
All the utilities in town, I believe, are represented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, that was one of the things I noticed is that it does not specify how many members.
That's because he couldn't tell me how many members they even had. He just said they're a lot.
Well, normally a bylaw would specify either a maximum number or a fixed number, and this does not. They serve 3-year terms. I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
that's what he said.
I'm surprised they serve 3-year terms if we're not sure how many there are.
And I don't think they're really ever appointed. I think it's more, hey, Lennox, yes, you're a huge company. We need 2 or 3 people from you, 1 for each shift. It's more to do all the planning.
Well,
That
I'm
was
not
not in the old bylaw. Excuse me, Pat.
It
I don't
wasn't?
see it either. I'm looking too.
No.
No, I couldn't find it. So I don't have any heartburn with it. I think it's a little strange not to have the stated number, but that's fine. It's an informal thing. Everybody good?
At least we know we have one now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's going to be in the bylaw.
Yeah.
Must be true.
Yeah, it must be, huh?
All right. Moving on to the planning board. Ralph, you know anything about that?
Planning board? I've never heard of them. What do they do?
They plan.
All right, planning board. Question 180-001, page 71. and some from the old bylaw 4.110.
That looks like it's as submitted, right?
Because Tom's checking multiple locations.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Looks like, this looks okay.
Yep.
One thing I noticed is that the MGL references don't agree. The old bylaws had different MGL references than this write-up. I would like to suppose that the references were checked and the new
That's what we submitted.
write-up is correct. Okay. Like I say, I just took note of the fact that the references are changed. It's still 41, chapter 41, but it's in the old bylaws, it's 70 to 72. And 81A to I. And the new reference is just chapter 70 and 81B.
I think we corrected that, didn't we? I vaguely recall.
I seem to recall something that we discussed it, and I thought we corrected it as well.
Yeah.
Page 71, page 71.
Well, section 70 is entitled Planning Board Duties. So that seems to be okay. And 81B is Planning Board Powers and Duties. So
So it seems to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Twice.
both
yeah.
What were the original references you said, Pat?
70 to 72.
Okay. Those are 71 is annual report, 72 is ordinances and bylaws.
And the other one was, it's 81A through I, not just 81B.
Okay.
There was a couple of MGLs in the current bylaws that we found were wrong too in the charter review, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, wasn't this a technical that the general code found? I found it was the wrong section or something that we had quoted, I thought.
I didn't see it in a question. Is it in a question?
No, it's not in the question.
No, I didn't see it in
No.
the question. I thought they'd made a note or something. Or maybe the note was from myself to me that it was wrong. I have notes everywhere.
you think?
I go through the big book and it's like I've got an X and then another one and then it says, no, add this language. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, which do we do?
I know, it's true. Jeannie
We're at
and
that point.
Jeannie and I had to sit together on every one of these and arm wrestle and agree.
Yeah.
We're at that point. We're at that point.
Tom,
So
thanks for looking that up.
So
Because
planning board is good?
I would say, Pat, because both section 70 and 81B both talk about planning board duties, that at least this reference is correct.
Yeah.
I would concur. I would concur. What I do notice is that the report requirements are not there. The old bylaw specified a report to the town manager with details.
I believe the director does that now.
Yeah.
So it's the department and not the board.
So we should be finding that in there.
So under multiple member bodies, Not multiple member bodies under the department. It's probably under that. Tom is much more efficient at this.
Yeah. Our section 115 or 115-4 is the annual report for planning and community development. And building and planning has one as well.
Yep. So yes, that's where the annual report went to.
And are the details listed?
What kind? Oh, probably not.
I think the details are basically whatever the town manager requests.
Your report that shall contain all matters.
Yep.
But the old bylaw had details. Nah. Actually, it just said covering clearly and concisely the work of its department for the preceding year.
That's fine.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. All right. Can't quibble any further on that. So we are up to
Recreation.
yeah, we're moving to A19, Rec Commission. Everything's from the old bylaws, except there's 9. There were 9 members, it's now 5. We remember that. But 255-2 is new material.
Yep, I believe that was put in there to coincide with the rest of the multiple member bodies. And that new material came right from the rec department.
190-1. There was a question, the Rec Commission. Yes, we have an okay as follows. Advises and otherwise assists the Recreation Director in the establishment of rules and regulations for the development, servicing, and delivery of recreational activities in the town. And that, I have a record, was revised as follows, what I just read.
But we have an attachment that we sent that is the same as what they have currently.
I understand, but that's, that's not what we put in the, in our instructions in the workbook. So not sure how that happened.
So this time they took the attachment
Right.
and ignored the workbook.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying, Tom. I don't think it's the end of the world. It does. Somebody put this in as a, probably in the Google Doc.
So I believe this came from the Google Docs. And
Rules
then when I went back to the Rec Commission, we brought this language and the Rec Commission said, no, that's okay the way it's worded.
Yeah, I think Donna said that, right? That came
Yeah.
from Donna? Yep, I remember that.
Because we also had a discussion with regards to the 5 members.
Right. Okay. So we're going with the Rec Commission's latest.
Yes. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Sounds like a plan.
Another example where what they were tasked with doing before would be establishment of rules and regulations. So can be understood. so we're good with that. 260 School Committee. Our question said do not revise.
So they incorporated it the way we did the addendum, right?
Think so.
Seems to be that way.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Bill, you had looked at the language and you were good with it.
Yep, that's right. This looks good.
The only difference is that we did earlier this week or last week, we added section 260-4, the annual report.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
But I don't think that needs to be in this section.
No, it shouldn't. Well, I mean,
Well-
actually it will be. It's 260-4
Right.
going to be added there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. I think we agree that's okay, right? As
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
We've instructed them to add 260-4, the responsibility for the
Annual report.
report.
Right.
Okay. Now, alcoholic beverages. Yes, love it.
We're talking.
Oh, boy.
Hey, we're out of multiple member bodies. All right.
Nice.
I did review each of these in detail. There are a lot of questions. Question 210-001, 210-002, 210-003. I found them all incorporated correctly. Anybody need other references? They were on pages 75, 76, and 77 in the workbook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like people are still looking.
So I don't have that up in the big workbook, page 77, question 210-003.
Yep,
We were supposed to remove the breach of peace.
yep,
Is that done?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have that in front of me, so just double check.
Yeah, that's gone.
Great.
Yeah, that's the note that I have.
It's not only the line in 310-3, but it's also the heading.
Right.
Right.
Ready to move on?
Yep.
Tom?
Yep.
Bill?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Let's move to animals.
Yeah.
This is on page 78 in the workbook, question 215-001. And what happened was we submitted a change, an increase in the fines. And as I recall, the town council said no. Possibly, if I recall, at the behest of Tom O'Connor.
Yes.
So I think this is something they incorporated correctly. But since then, we need to go back to the way it was originally. So it's punishable by a fine of $25, first offense, 50 for second and third, and fourth and subsequent 75.
And that was a vote of the council. I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So look, this is something that's not their fault, Jeannie.
Right. And they split it up into 3 different paragraphs, I see. A, B, and C.
Yeah, they
No.
did.
Well, B is a different issue.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, we had it all in one paragraph, but they,
so I think
Yep.
I think that makes sense.
yep, me too.
And that was, that's page 78, question 215-001.
Right.
And section 3 is the exempt from vaccination, which I found to be okay.
Yep.
So all the rest of that I found to be fine,
Okay.
except number 6. Go down to number 6 and you'll see it says original section of general bylaws is repealed. Well, actually what happened was we asked for it to be removed. Because we're no longer referencing it. Because we're referencing it in 315-12, where it says the town of East Long Meadow prohibits the prolonged confinement of dogs outside. Specific rules and regs can be found in MGL 140, section 174E as amended. So therefore, the prolonged confinement of dogs outside referenced in 6 doesn't belong there. The 6 should be stricken in its entirety. Remember that discussion?
Yep.
Yes, I do.
So I think we probably need a vote on this. Even though we said removed.
Yeah, so they,
It wasn't clear.
that was that big, long,
Right.
that
Yep.
was page 83 or question 215-006. And we had revised its fouls, and that's how they revised it. On page 146 of 480. So I don't know if their note, if the note here on A20 is a thing, but they did it how we asked them to.
Well, actually, Jeannie and I met and we corrected that. And we said delete Article 4. It has been superseded by state law, which is the first box on page 84.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, so now you're saying we
oh,
want.
we got overruled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying we're just repealing that whole section now?
We did,
Okay.
because it's being replaced. If you look up in the code adoption there, 315-12, outdoor confinement of dogs is specifically referenced there.
Right, but that's what's in the paginated version.
315-12 is in the paginated version.
Right.
Well, it should be. Oh, okay. Well, let me 315. Let me go see what.
Maybe I'm just misinterpreting what you're trying to say, and it's not a big deal. But
No, because this could very well be.
Don's here too, Pat, just so you know.
Yeah, we gotta switch over to another meeting.
Yeah.
A little break.
He's,
Yeah, little.
he's a very subtle 2-minute warning.
Yes, he is. He just pops up.
So
I don't want
315,
to interrupt.
315-12 is outdoor confinement added. And so what happened to that number 6?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it even there?
Exactly.
So that's all we're saying is we're just gonna remove that line in its entirety.
Well, but it's,
Well, unless we don't even have to touch it because it's
the line
Well-
isn't there in the
not in the
PDF.
paginated version.
Right.
They're just saying that big, huge, long thing, maybe because it was such a big change, Pat, that 9.025 is 1.5 pages long, and we're taking it out and replacing it with one sentence. So they just wanted to make sure,
Yeah,
It's noted.
saying it again.
make sure it's noted. Yeah, no,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. I'm fine with it. Good.
okay.
that's good.
So then so that's okay, it's presented then, chapter 313?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't
Oh,
find.
wait a
this.
minute. 315, I'm sorry.
Yes, 315.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to not just look at this 40-page document, but also to look at the 600-page document to see where it sits and how it sits and where it
And
is.
yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we almost finished. But,
Good.
and that's a good, I really appreciate everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too.
Same to you.
Limited
You too,
door.
Pat. Thanks.
The next meeting again is December 3rd, right? At 2:30?
Next
Yeah.
meeting, December 3rd at 2:30.
All right.
And I will entertain unless anyone else has a question or comment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
All in
See most of you in a couple of
Yeah,
minutes.
see you in a couple
That's
minutes.
right, too.
Yeah. Roll call, aye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
everyone.
Happy
Thank
Okay,
you.
see ya.